The average American earns $1.7 million over the course of their career. The median retirement savings for people who have anything at all is $87,000. And about half of American families have nothing. They have nothing saved, zero. So that $87,000 is actually the best case scenario for a lot of people. That is not bad luck, okay? It is the direct result of money habits that quietly work against you for years while everything feels fine. In this video, I'm going to show you 8 of these bad money habits and exactly how to break free of them. Let's get into it. So bad habit number 1 is not paying yourself first, AKA paying yourself last. This idea comes from Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it's the foundation for everything else I'll talk about. You may love Robert, you may hate him. I actually met him back in the day at George Gammon's birthday party. He's a really nice guy. Most people, they pay themselves last, okay? So take a look at this column right here. We have most people, we have wealthy people. Usually your paycheck comes in, you pay your rent, your car bill, your phone, your subscriptions, your food, all that stuff, and you spend all of your money first, okay? You spend all your money on your social life because you feel like you've earned it. At the end of the month, whatever's left, if anything at all, goes into savings. The problem is your spending will always grow to match what's in your account, and we'll get to that later in the video. If you have $200 left at the end of the month, it will get spent. That's just how people are, and willpower alone is not going to fix this. The solution is to reverse the order, okay? So this is what wealthy people do. As soon as you get paid, move at least 10% straight into savings before paying any bills. Set it up automatically so you don't have to think about it. Treat it like a bill you can't skip because your future self needs that money as much as anyone else you pay, okay? This is just, treat it like a bill, okay? It's just another line item. Start by building up 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Once you have that, you can start investing the extra, but none of this works if you keep paying yourself last. It needs to be first. Let's take a look at a number for a moment. The average American has about $6,500 in credit card debt. Yes, this is a credit card, it's not a bar of soap, okay? So this might not sound like a lot, it might not sound like a crisis, I mean, to me it does, but with interest rates between 22 and 24%, it costs you about $1,430 a year in interest just to keep the balance from growing. So you're not paying it off, you're just staying in the same place. It's like a hamster wheel or a treadmill. What really gets me is that these same card companies, they're charging you all that interest. They're also advertising cashback rewards, okay? So those perks only make sense if you pay off your balance every month like I do. If you carry a balance, those rewards are just a small discount on the interest that you're already paying. So my rule is simple. If I can't pay for something in cash right now, I don't buy it on credit. I treat it like cash, and then I fly to Europe for free. Oh, no, credit cards, no, oh, the devil's plastic. Listen to me, dude. I go to Europe every year, it's awesome. The only but good Europe, Balkans, Southern Europe. You have potato Europe, you have tomato Europe, okay? Try and stay in the tomato Europe. Potato Europe sucks. The only exceptions are things that keep their value or make me money, okay? So eating out or buying new clothes doesn't count. If you have credit card debt, make paying it off your top priority before anything else. The interest is guaranteed, investment returns are not. We talked about this in my last video, which you can see right here. If you're making a payment and you're paying off this 22 to 24% debt, you are making a guaranteed tax-free return on investment of 22 to 24%. If you gave me a stock that earned this every single time I put money into it, I'd put my entire life savings into it, especially if it's guaranteed and tax-free. Okay, number 3 is a classic silent killer. It's called lifestyle inflation. Just like how monetary inflation is a stealth tax against you and your purchasing power. You may have a small PP, you may have a medium PP, you may have an extremely large PP like I do. But lifestyle inflation, stealth killer, and I'll explain why. So if you can't read my small writing, okay, you have spending, you have lifestyle, and you have income, okay? This lifestyle gap, see how it's never closing? See how it's the exact width, no matter how much your income goes up? If your spending goes up with it, you're never gonna close this gap, okay? So you can't reach a goal if you don't know where you're starting from. So I see a lot of smart, hardworking people struggle with money because of this. I did the 2 income trap video, which you can see right here. It's 2 working couples. They're both making $1 billion in corporate America. But guess what? Their lifestyle keeps going up and to the right along with their money. So they get a raise, life gets a little bit better, maybe a nicer apartment or home, a newer car, longer vacations. But after a few years, a much higher income, they're still living paycheck to paycheck. So that's called lifestyle inflation. I wanna be clear, you can be paycheck to paycheck broke, okay? Like absolutely broke, like literally, I don't know if I'm gonna eat next week or next month. Or you can be six-figure paycheck to paycheck. There's a big difference in quality of lifestyle, but it's still paycheck to paycheck. So this gap is what we call lifestyle inflation. It sneaks up on you every time your income goes up. You never feel like you're doing anything wrong because you can technically afford the upgrade. But every time your spending rises to meet your income, you reset back to zero, and the gap between where you are and the gap where you wanna be, it never closes. So again, remember this. This line is spending, this is the lifestyle gap, this is your income increasing, but you're never touching this line. It's a big gap. Okay, so number 4 is not knowing your numbers, okay? The solution to lifestyle inflation is simple, even if it feels uncomfortable, okay? You need to know your real numbers, okay? Not guesses or rough ideas, but your actual monthly fixed income, fixed expenses, and what you spend on extras. Most importantly, know your net worth, okay? Net worth is very simple. It's just assets minus liabilities. If I asked you to draw all your assets and liabilities in this box or list them out in an Excel spreadsheet or Google Sheets, would you be able to even list these things, okay? You need to really understand where your net worth is at. Your net worth is just a temperature check, okay? That number tells you more about your financial health than your salary ever will. People who build real wealth don't just earn more. They track every dollar and make choices on purpose. It's the same thing as being in a caloric deficit, you guys. When you put these numbers on a spreadsheet, it holds you accountable in a way that no podcast or vision board can, okay? It might feel awkward at first, but do it anyway. If you're trying to lose fat, okay, I'm looking at you. Yeah, do the reverse curl, get the cookie away from your mouth, please. If you're trying to lose fat, you need to be in a caloric deficit. It's literally calories in, calories out, okay? You need to weigh your food. Same thing with this, okay? Assets minus liabilities, that gives you your overall health, the weight on the scale, and then your income and expenses are the actual calories. I always use diet and sports and business as analogies together because it truly is the same. You just need to have discipline. A lot of you are afraid to make a budget or a spreadsheet or track your spending because a lot of you are scared to actually uncover how many calories you're actually eating, aka how much you're spending, okay? I know sometimes people are like, oh, I'm eating healthy or I'm not spending that much money. All those little purchases add up. Same thing with the sauces, same thing with the cookie at 11 p.m. when no one's looking. That all adds up, and that's why you look the way you do, and that's why your credit score is the way it is, and that's why you need to watch this channel and share it with a million friends. Do it now, now. Okay, number 5. This might be a tough one to hear, okay, but I say it with respect. I'm talking to you like a friend, if in case you haven't noticed that over like 9 years I'm being on YouTube. Number 5 is hobbies and sneaky spending. I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money. I couldn't care less about what you buy. I just want you to see what some of these habits really cost because most people don't realize it. Many of us have expensive hobbies without even noticing. We have shopping. This is supposed to be a shopping bag. I don't know. Anybody else have a wife or a girlfriend or significant other that lives at TJ Maxx? Shopping, going out every weekend. This is supposed to be a martini glass. Upgrading to the latest car after your lease is done or the latest phone or whatever. These are all in a way hobbies. I'm a car guy, so don't hate on me for that. But a lot of the cars make money on or break even. You gotta know how to buy, my friends. But there's nothing wrong with enjoying these things, okay? There's nothing wrong with enjoying your money. But if you're spending $1,100 a month on things that aren't tied to a financial goal, that adds up to $13,200 a year. If you invested that amount every year for 20 years at an average 8% return, you'd have over $600,000. That's enough for retirement, a down payment on a rental property, or to build wealth for your family. The thing that drives me crazy is that these people, they always comment, well, Marko, you can't take it with you. Like, yeah, no shit. We all know that. You give it to your kids, you big dummy. So the main point is you don't have to cut out everything. Just be honest with yourself about what's a conscious choice and what's just automatic spending you haven't even thought about. Let's make this unconscious, conscious spending, okay? Every dollar you make has a job, and basically you get to decide what that job is. You're the manager, you're the CEO of your money. So now, most of you think I'm obsessed with savings, which I'm not, but the next section will actually show you that saving alone will not get you to where you wanna go. But before that, here's a word from today's sponsor, Geoship. This is a paid advertisement for Geoship Regulation CF offering. I want to stay on this housing thread for just a second. You know, I look for situations where real demand is running into a broken system because that gap is where the opportunity lives. Over 75% of Americans can't afford to buy right now. The country is short 6.5 million homes. Whenever I go to Europe, I stay in houses made of concrete and brick that have survived actual civil wars, okay? These are houses built to last. The homes being built today in the States are still made the same way they were built 50 years ago. Same wood framing, same materials that rot, burn, and grow mold. That's what the world's largest product market is still running on. However, there is a company called Geoship that went back to zero and redesigned the home from physics and materials science up. Bioceramic composite material, geodesic geometry. Non-toxic, fire resilient, mold resilient, and built with a 500-year design life. And honestly, when you see this thing, it does not look like any home you've seen before. Engineering team is from Tesla, Apple, and Toyota. It's California factory built, housing certified. Pilot factory is running. About 3,400 domes have been reserved. A deposit-backed sales pipeline exceeding $550 million in projected customer demand. Geoship is currently raising, and everyday investors have the opportunity to invest alongside them. Early stage means real risk, including the potential loss of your entire investment. Do your own due diligence and read the offering circular. Link is in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Okay, number 6, my favorite. Savers are losers. If you haven't watched my multiple videos on this over the years that have hundreds of thousands of views, savers are losers. Are savers losers? Like loser, you shove them in a locker and you take their lunch money? No, savers are losing money. They're decreasing their PP size, their purchasing power, due to inflation. So if you save cash in your drywall or underneath your bed, guess what? There's this thing called inflation literally eating that money away, okay? Picture it like little mice eating away at the money. Your purchasing power is going down. So 30 years from now, when a Honda Accord costs literally $85,000, guess what your money in the drywall or underneath your bed is doing? Nothing. Well, cash isn't gonna exist in like 10 years, so don't worry about that. But anyway, savers are losers. You're literally losing purchasing power to inflation, okay? So here's something most people don't hear or wanna hear when they start getting serious about money. There's a limit to how much you can save. Even if you're the best saver in the world, let's say you make $5,000 a month, maybe you can save 30 or 40%. That's impressive, but it's still only $2,000 a month in that example. You can't save your way to real wealth on an average income alone, okay? Saving is important, but it's just one part of the picture. The other part is your income and your investments, stocks, real estate investing, private equity, private capital, whatever you want to invest in. And those don't have a cap. Those typically, have gone up and to the right for many, many years. So again, stock market, real estate, a side hustle, they can all grow without limits over time, okay? You need to invest in yourself as well. So yes, build, good saving habits. You don't want to be the NBA player that made $100 million over his career and is now broke. You have to control your spending and pay yourself first, which we talked about, but also focus on growing your income and things that grow your money. So ask for a raise, start a side project, open a brokerage account, invest, okay? The fastest way to financial independence isn't just saving more from a fixed paycheck, it's increasing what you earn while you're keeping your spending in check, okay? You don't wanna increase that lifestyle gap that we talked about. So saving has a ceiling, earning more does not. Let me ask you something. What is the biggest expense you'll have in your lifetime, okay? I promise you, it's not your mortgage, your car, or even food. It's taxes, baby. Uncle Sam, give me a little slice, buddy. We gotta go bomb some smaller countries that can't defend themselves. The average American pays between 25 and 30% of their income in taxes over their working years. So that's a huge amount, and most people just accept it without thinking about ways to legally lower it. To be clear, I'm not talking about anything shady or illegal or Panama Papers or Cyprus or offshore accounts. I'm talking about using the tools the government has set up for basically for your advantage. That's why it's called tax advantaged. For example, a Roth IRA lets you invest up to $7,500 in 2026, and all of the money that you put in there has already been taxed, okay? It's tax advantage. So if you wanna take anything out in retirement, guess what? You already paid taxes on it. It's tax-free. A 401k lets you put away up to $23,500 before taxes. That's for 2025. It's actually higher in 2026, which lowers your taxable income now and helps you build wealth for later. So an HSA, which we talked about in this last video, gives you triple tax benefits, okay? Money goes in before taxes, grows tax-free, and comes out tax-free for qualified medical expenses. These aren't loopholes, they're the actual rules that wealthy people use because they know about them. If you're not using tax advantage accounts before putting money into a regular brokerage account, you're paying more in taxes than you need to. That's the bottom line. Okay, number 8 is waiting too long to invest. Okay, waiting to invest is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make, and the tough part is it never feels like a big decision at the time, okay? It just feels like you're waiting until next year or you have more saved, or I'll wait until whatever to have kids. And then you're 40, okay? So until you understand things better, or until the market calms down, which right now it's kind of crazy, or life feels more stable, I understand those are all reasons why you want to delay or wait. But here's what that waiting actually costs you. If you invest $5,000 a year, not a month or not a day, a year, okay? Starting at age 25, this is person A, at 8% average return, you'll have about $1,295,000 by age 65. That's 40 years, okay? If you wait until you're 35 to start for person B, you'll end up with $566,000. Yes, $566,000 versus what we just said for person A. That's a difference of $729,000 just from waiting 10 years. That's not a small mistake. That's your retirement, okay? Plus, inflation is real, and money sitting in a savings account earning 2 or 3%, if that, loses value every year. Remember, savers are losers. So I keep a big part of my own investments in broad market index funds because I know that time in the market beats trying to time the market. You don't need to pick individual stocks or use a fancy brokerage account. You just need to start. The best time to invest was yesterday. The next best time is today. Okay, so here's where I stand on all of this with my honest thoughts at the end, talking to a friend like we would grab a beer at the bar, but your boy still isn't drinking beer because he's trying to get to 14% body weight. I already did that last video, stop. So you don't need a finance degree, you don't need a background in investing, or even a high salary. What you do need is awareness and a real decision to do things differently. Most people never make that decision because these habits feel normal. Everyone around you is doing them, okay? Paying yourself last is normal. Carrying a credit card balance is normal. Spending more every time you get a raise is normal, the lifestyle inflation. But in this country, in the USA, normal means working for decades and not knowing your neighbor. Earning over $1.5 million and retiring with less than $90,000 in the bank if you have anything saved at all. If you want a different result, you have to make different choices, and you have to start now. Not next week, not after the holidays, not when life slows down. You need to do it now. For me, the 2 biggest habits that made the biggest difference were automating my savings as soon as I got paid. I've been doing that since forever. And then also tracking my net worth once a month. It takes literally 5 minutes. So once I saw that number go up, it actually stopped feeling like a chore and started feeling like a game I could win, okay? So if you want to go deeper and build these habits with a community of hundreds of people, I'd love to have you join Whiteboard Finance University, baby. We have courses on personal finance, real estate investing, stock market, live trades like this one, and weekly live streams every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? That's where I share what I'm investing in, my portfolio, what's happening in the markets, all that stuff. The link is in the description down below. We will help you increase your PP size and maintain it. Now, what does this cost, Marko? Oh, I'm glad you asked. It's $10 a month so my kids can eat a hot meal. And if you don't care about my children, please unsubscribe. Guys, it's 10 bucks. After fees, I'm not making anything. It's more for community building. It's fun. I highly recommend it. It's a ton of value. It's a ridiculous amount of value. So with all that being said, thank you for watching. Share the video with a million friends. And as always, have a prosperous day. Oh, you're here waiting for Marko to do something funny. But I'm not your monkey with the symbols. Oh, do something funny. Do something funny. No.